Right. The last video ended abruptly, but I think we had ended on a very good note, actually, looking at the government employee pension fund, whose financials were just brilliant, you know. First of all, it was easy to read because everything I wanted was just there. They just put it there, you know. The number of active people contributing to the government pension fund, 1,261,363. The number of pensions being paid out, 450,000, which is 322,223 pensions, as well as what's this? Um, 167,679 spousal pensions. Easy to read. They're paying 156 billion a year in pensions. That was last year. Easy to read. They've got 2.3 trillion in assets under management. Easy to read. They generated a average 10.255% return for the last 10 years. If you exclude 2020, which was a COVID year where they made their first loss. Easy to read. If you include the COVID year, the average return is 8.11%, which, as I said, it adjusts the figure that I use for my compounding, because normally I say 8% is after inflation. Turns out it's 8% before inflation. Actually should read. The government pension fund is actually so clear that it's possible that it's after inflation, number one, but number two, that they even stipulated on there. So I'm gonna go check that out. So that's just the recap on what we did in the previous session. I looked at old mutuals, assets under management. It's a mess. I don't know if it's 774 billion or it's 77 billion. The member profile, they say South Africa 6.4 million, Southern Africa 2.5 million. So that's Botswana, Lesotho, Zambia, not Zambia, Botswana, Lesotho, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, right? East Africa 1.75 million, West Africa 1.1 million, but it doesn't say is this insurance clients or is this pension clients. It basically just says the member profile. Same with Sanlam, managing 1 trillion in assets under management. It's not clear between that and the 172 billion in investments, which one of it is which one is for pensions, which one is whatever, you know. I can't even say insurance. Insurance, I deduced that insurance, because you don't really have to hold an asset, you just have to be able to pay your premiums, pay your claims. So you don't really need to have insurance assets, so to speak. You know, we wouldn't say assets under management for insurance because you're not managing anyone's assets. Assets under management would refer to pensions, and I'm assuming that's the 1 trillion and the 774 billion for Sanlam and Old Mutual, respectively. Sanlam is a bit worse, in fact, in that they say 32 million people in Africa and 22 million in India and Malaysia. And again, I'm not sure, is that total insurance clients as well as pension, or is it strictly pension, or is it strictly insurance? That sort of information that I wasn't getting, that I was able to get from the government employees pension fund. GEPF just beat them hands down when it comes to reporting. If I'm even looking, the website is on WordPress. That's how straightforward the pension fund reporting is. They indicated the shares that they own. I think it's 16% in MTN, 9% in Naspers, 15% in Standard Bank, 18% in Sasol, First Rand, Anglo American, Vodacom. Yeah, I couldn't see my handwriting. Spania, Stillwater. Yeah, I couldn't see my handwriting from there because I was just so excited writing. You know, these guys were just so good at reporting that I just wanted to write down everything. And essentially, I ended up even exhausting my time or my battery time on my phone because I hotspot with my phone. My phone ended up dying, and that's where the recording ended abruptly. So in this episode, hopefully I can just wrap up the remaining pension fund providers and then get to the next phase of what I wanted to actually talk about when it comes to pension funds. Why did I decide to do this very long marathon of videos talking about pension funds? Right. So that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully, in this episode, if not in this episode, we may have to have a round four, where round four is the conclusion. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to again share the screen of the Government Employee Pension Fund. First of all, because I enjoyed reading the annual report, but over and above reading the annual report, also because I actually want to see if that amount is before tax, before inflation, or after inflation. If it's after inflation, then that is very phenomenal. If it's before inflation, then yeah, look, the fact that you're beating inflation is brilliant because at the end of the day, I'm trying to retain the value of my money, right? So if I've got 5 million rands in savings and and with less inflation, it essentially means that I've got a 2% compounding rate. And I'll work out all those things, or if something compounds at 2%, um, how then do we report it, or how do we deal with it, or what's the amount that we should expect? So it says during the reporting period, the GPF investments yielded a return of 11.1% compared to 23.1% in 2021, based on net investment income of 255 billion. And in 2021, 483 billion. My God, that's a lot of investment income. Income during the financial year under review included dividend income of 48.98 billion, interest income of 51 billion, and property income of 1.95 billion. Right? That's very, very little property income. I can almost tell I think they're running what might be a 50-50 return, not return, what do you call this? Weighting between debt and equity. Yeah, it doesn't say if it's before or after inflation. Accumulated funds and reserves grew at an average rate of 8.6% during the 2013 to 2022. That's the 8% that I calculated as well. Okay. Yeah. Sucks that I didn't get it, but look, so far, GPF, hands down, you're the best at reporting. I would like to speak to the minister purely for the sake of having a public conversation about our pensions in a manner that people can understand, and that's all. And I mean, as part of the principal executive, that's exactly what I expect, reaping the rewards. Commitment to a diversified long-term investment strategy has proved to be the correct choice, as evidenced by the increased growth in GPF assets during the year under the review. Despite unfavorable market conditions, GPF recorded a market value of 2.3 trillion at close of 31 March 2022. Look, they are beautiful. I can read the annual report. But yeah, today is not the day where I measure their performance. Today was the day that I measure their reporting and what numbers they essentially hold. So I'm gonna go back to Google. And when I get to Google, I am going to search for pension fund South Africa. Hey, look who pops up. Old Mutual. How you doing there, old lady? Let's see if I press this pension and provident funds explained, it will be a lot better. I hope it's not explaining that. Like, I just want to know how many people do you uh, um, yeah, for those of you that are interested, if you have less than 247,500 in your pension fund, you don't have to take one third. But other than that, look, Old Mutual does a horrible job at reporting how much money they manage and how many members they've got. Yeah, I mean, Uncatel, I can't even give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't deserve it. They just don't deserve it. Let me see if the Reserve Bank might have it, but I doubt they would have it. Uh, there is a very high repo rate and a high prime rate. CPI of 6.3%. Okay. So from this 10.22% return, we keep 4%, which is quite credible. Mm, list of pension funds in South Africa. Okay. So here they are. There are many of them. Eskom Pension Fund, Edcon, Independent Schools Association, Metal Industries Pension Fund. Okay. So these are all the pension fund companies: Cape Municipal Pension Fund, the Motor Industry Retirement, Durban Pension Fund. And that speaks to that definition we had in the first video of there's a fiduciary duty in terms of Regulation 28 to manage in the best interest of its members. Benefits depend on responsible management of fund assets, risk-adjusted returns suitable for funds, considering the specific member profile, liquidity needs, as well as liabilities. The reason I needed the member profile was so that I can see how much they've got under management and how many people. The liabilities, GPF did the best so far by letting us know that they are paying 450,000 people 156 billion rands, right? Let's actually see that's on average how much per person. 156 billion with many zeros divided by 400. Guys, do you see how nice it is to keep on calculating over and over? So about 350,000 rands uh, in pensions paid out. So about 28,000 rand per month. That's a livable wage. That's very livable. I like that. Um, okay, I'm gonna look for top 10 because I saw it was the top 10 pension funds in South Africa. Uh, yes, South Africa's biggest pension. Oh, the Daily Investor, you might have them. Look at that. Biggest pension funds, top holdings. Please don't tell me it's still just GPF again. Guys, this is boring. GPF does great reporting on their own. You really don't need to do this. I think we must give a round of applause to the government employee pension fund. Um, of all the things that seem to be going wrong in the country, according to the media, pension fund, their government is actually doing a phenomenal job and they are reporting very well. Very, very well. I want that to be on record for a government employee pension fund, top notch. The biggest pension funds in South Africa. Yeah, I know the government employee pension fund, but I'm looking for other information. Who are the others? Yeah, I don't like this. So, for example, when you read the heading by the Daily Maverick, Africa's largest pension fund, the GPF, is still backing South African investment in the country. I think you need to come back and apologize because they actually have done a very good job. The still backs implies that they should stop. Okay, there are over 5,000 pension funds. That includes private and occupational pension funds. Uh, that's the thing is phenomenal. You don't understand. Okay, I'm gonna actually just click this so that I see all the pension fund companies. List of pension funds in South Africa 2022. How many are there? Most South Africans have heard of pension and provident funds, but do not know how they operate, their significance, and how to benefit from them. I think because I did say that then in this episode I would be discussing why I went down this rabbit hole, right? And Sanlam and Old Mutual, look, unfortunately, you popped up as the two that we know. Um, Say thank God I covered you. There are people that I didn't even cover that may not even get um, patients, not patients, clients. But the important thing for me now was to get to this conversation that I want to get into, right? Says most South Africans have heard of pensions and provident funds, but do not know how they operate, their significance, and how to benefit from them. So, this list of pension funds in South Africa sheds light on the topic and highlights how they operate. All right. In South Africa, every large company, industry, and professional association has a pension scheme whose function is to protect the interests of its employees. It signifies that the employees are well taken care of and are taking care of themselves. How many pension funds in South Africa do you know? Go through the list for more insights. Yeah, I only knew the three. I'm tempted to say Well and Gray and Wara Wara, but hey, the way Sanlam and Old Mutual were already taking, hey, it's tough, man. You don't want to be mentioning people, and then when you get to the annual reports, it's disappointing, you know. Because I can tell you now, that's the first thing that you need to do well. You just need to report. IFRS requires it. You know, I don't even think government employee pension fund follows IFRS. I think they follow GRAP or something like that. The GRAP standards, I've got them here. This book, this big book here, you can't see it. That's basically the standards for government entities that are similar to IFRS. Okay, they work by receiving monthly contributions from the employee and the employer. One can access up to a third of the benefit in cash and two-thirds in income annuities at retirement. So who qualifies for a pension fund in South Africa? If you earn less than 78,120 annually or 156,240 if living with a spouse, you are eligible for a pension. So let me calculate that's how much per month. 78,210 or 120 divided by 12 months, 6,510, you are eligible for a pension. Then 156,240 divided by 12, 13,020, obviously that's divided by 2. So if you're earning more than 6.5, you are eligible for a pension. You are legible. It says you are legible. Is it legible? I would have thought eligible. What is a provident fund in South Africa? It is a retirement scheme run by the government. The government makes it compulsory for employees and employers to contribute to the scheme. The government also determines the conditions for withdrawing by setting the age limit you need to attain and the amount, right? And that's fine. Government has to legislate these things. Otherwise, there are people that will never ever save for retirement, number one. But number two, over and above, never save for retirement. There are companies that actually may opt out of giving people pensions, which means that at the end of your working life, we are born, and that would be one of the most inhumane things to do to people that have dedicated their life in part or in full to working for your company. And I think even at this point, before we get to the part where I'm still going to hit Old Mutual level Sanlam, black companies, let us please put our employees on pension funds or retirement annuities. I know it is tough, I know it is difficult, but there is no justification for why some apartheid companies can be treating our people better than we ourselves. You know, if you say you want to be a business owner in this day and age, of which some of us are, and we are struggling and it's tough, but you want to employ someone, at a bare minimum, open an easy equities account for them and put 50 Rand. That 50 Rand is better than nothing. And I'm even going to show you, because now I love compound calculators, I'm going to show you what that 50 Rand is going to be for that person's retirement. And it might be nothing for you, right? But now I can use the GPF's official return. I'm going to use the 10.225255555 because that's the one that, what's this? That it had an average of, if you exclude COVID, right? Then, okay, close the ad. Hollywood bets, I'm not interested. Microsoft, lo and chila. Hey guys, so many ads. Okay, antivirus are not kicking in. Let's say you work for 30 years, okay? The retirement age in South Africa is 65 or 60. Let's assume you work from 30 to 60, or you at least you have a pension from that age, right? 30 to 60 or 35 to 60. And that's because I know some of you guys really are not saving towards retirement. Let's put 50 Rand monthly and it gets put at the end of the month. Do you increase it? No, you never increase it. Let's say you increase it by 2%. So meaning that essentially 50 times 1.02, 51. Nah, let's not increase it because I see what's going to happen here. Annual deposit increase. Oh, wait. Hey, before you calculate, my God. It was already ready to give you the answer. Guys, this is a YouTube channel. I just give you the answer just like that. All right, now let's go to the answer. Just so we understand, I use the GPF's return on investment. So if your pension is not beating the government employee pension fund, attend your AGM and tell them that they are losing you money. The government employee pension fund is the biggest pension fund in Africa. You cannot be growing at a smaller rate than the biggest pension fund. Because remember, if I've got 10 Rand and I take it to 20 Rand, that is relatively easy, but that is 100% return. But if I've got R1 million to take it to 2 million Rands is a bit more difficult because there aren't that many opportunities. Yes, I can take it to 1.2 million, which is 20%. That's easy. But to take it to 2 million Rand, to keep on doubling a large investment is difficult. So for the government employee pension fund to be returning 10.255% is phenomenal. At 2.3 trillion, that means they are adding about 250 billion to their assets under management. That is a lot. That's 20% of the South African economy, by the way. The speech that the minister gives you, 1.2 trillion in February, government employees pension fund on its own is generating 250 billion Rands from their investments. That is a phenomenal rate. If you're a government employee, tomorrow be proud. Go to work proud with your chest held high. Your government is taking care of you very well. Sanlam Old Mutual, until you can report your financials, I'm going to assume you're not beating 10.25 because otherwise, why would you hide your numbers? Black employers, give your employees at least 50 Rand a month. Open and easy equities. Oh, I actually had said that I'm not gonna shout. I took off my headphones. That's why. I was listening to Yosondo, Burna Boy, Ntate Vusi Mahlasela. So a couple of African artists while recording, and the view was that they were supposed to keep me calm so that I don't shout at you guys. I know at one of the videos someone complained already, Nakia Lomanya, you know. So I don't want to shout at you guys anymore. So hence I wanted to see if my temper will be moderated if I record listening to music. Okay. Right. Guys, you open the day your employees arrive, nah, you ask them for proof of bank account. You have to get it anyway because that's where you pay their salaries. You ask them for their tax number because you have to get it anyway because you have to register them for PAYE and UIF. Then you ask them for a copy of their ID and proof of residence. You have to get those because you are the employer. You know, you have to know who you are hiring as well as where they live. You know, these people are human beings that have got families. If you're not doing those three minimum things, as I say, for me, you are worse than the apartheid government or the apartheid companies because you are saying that you're employing people who you have no regard for, absolutely no regard for, you know. At worst, I know with my employees, I mean, my company, what I did was there was a probation period. So for the first 3 months, yes, you won't have a pension because you're still on probation. But after the 3 months was over, you open an easy equities account and then you send me the account number. And then every month when I pay you, I pay into your pension fund. And I think, what was the amount that I was paying into the pension fund? I think it was either 10 to 20%. I think, yeah, if you've worked for me before, please comment in the comment section how much I was contributing to your pension fund. But please don't spill our dirty laundry if I was doing something wrong. But for me, at a bare minimum, if you don't have a pension fund for your employees, yeah. And as I said, you open an easy equities account, it's going to be a retirement annuity, and you put in 50 rands. 50 rands, guys. Come on, black employees. I mean, employers. 50 rands. If you don't know how to, give me a call. Let's consult. I'll charge you, I think, 3,000 rand an hour. I do it for all your employees, and then you're good to go. If you want me to manage it, to manage yourself, it will be something like 500 rand per employee, where I put in, I on a monthly basis help you do that, and then we're good. Yes, I am promoting my own services. I get a more YouTube. Let's see then how much an employee who you are putting away 50 rand for over 30 years is. And you can complain that this is nothing, but I guarantee you there are domestic workers who today they resign after many years of service and they are left to a government pension, which we say it's nothing, what, but we weren't even putting away something for them. Yeah, well, let's have a look. R120,000. 18,000 rands in deposits and 101,000 rands in returns, in interest. Let time do the heavy lifting. Let's cut the mad employees. Let's say you put 250 rand for your employee. Calculate 250 rand a month. Your employee retires with 600,000 rand. 600,000 rand. Now you might say it's nothing, but there are people that do not get that. And let me calculate. Let me start with the first one, 120,000 divided by 25. That's how many years you are projected to live after retirement. But maybe we might say because it's, I don't want to be insensitive, but you know, let's work with 25 years after retirement. So you retire at 65 and you live until you are 90, which is very possible for African people. Essentially, that is 4,800 rand a year. Divide by 12, that's about 400 rand. The current grant is about 400 rand or what, 600 rand a month. An extra 400 rand makes a difference for someone that was either lowly paid or not even paid. There are people that are collecting the 350 now because of COVID. We don't know when they're going to stop. Put 50 rands away for your employees. Yeah, but what's 410 years from now, or 20 years from now, or 30 years from now? I'll tell you what 400 is 30 years from now. It's 400 more than your employees currently going to get. Let me work it out now on this 596,869.78 divide by 25 years. So if your employee gets 600,000 rand, which actually, thank goodness, the minute your pension is above 200, then I think we said 37,500. Government says that you take 1/3 and the remaining 2/3, you take it over the remaining years of your life. Thank you, government, for doing that, because some people, first of all, weren't even getting pensions, but some people then, we have seen it. We have got distraught grandmothers and aunts who've chowed their pensions. This amount of money divided by 25 years. So if you live 25 years after your retirement, that's 23,000, 24,000 rand a year. Divide by 12 months, that's almost 2,000 rand that your employee is getting per month in retirement because you put away 250 rand for them every month. Guys, let's cover snacks. Put your employees on pension fund. Easy Equities has made it possible for everyone to be an investor. Okay, please, guys. So let's continue. Your retirement is a significant milestone, and your pension scheme guarantees to make the transition as seamless as possible. The scheme informs you of the total amount of your retirement amount and how you can access it. So what are the different pension funds? These are the pension funds in South Africa. The Cape Municipal Pension Fund, the scheme serves Cape municipal workers to build and grow wealth for retirement. It provides predetermined capital gains through various investment opportunities. So we're fine with that one. The Motor Industry Retirement Fund. The Motor Industry Retirement Fund has over 250,000 members and assets worth more than 35 billion. The Auto Workers Provident Fund is designed to grow wealth for workers in the country's auto manufacturing industry. It's one of the largest and fastest growing local government funds in South Africa. There it is. Devon Pension Fund represents a merger of the former Devon Municipal Pension Fund and the Devon Corporation Superannuation Fund. Alexander Forbes Administration Services manages it, and its investments are in real estate, infrastructure, and natural resources. We will look at Alexander Forbes assets under management. There's a risk of double counting, but that's fine. Eskom Pension Fund and Provident Fund is a retirement pension and provident fund scheme up for employees at Eskom. I'm not in the mood to discuss what Eskom is or isn't. Edcon Provident Fund is a public pension scheme. It covers employees working at Edcon, a retail conglomerate that deals in footwear, clothing, and whatever. You can make inquiries by visiting the officials. Independent Schools Association of South Africa Pension Scheme. This is another public pension in South Africa, and it caters to workers in the country's private schools. It has teachers from about 850 schools across the country. Metal Industry Benefits Funds. This is a public pension scheme that caters to workers in the metal industry. If you're in this field and would like to reach out, do so. Mine Workers Provident Fund. Granted its name, you can access that you can guess that this is the retirement pension and provident scheme for workers in the mining industry. This is where you can reach them. University of Cape Town Retirement Fund. It serves workers at the University of Cape Town. You can make your inquiries on this platform. SABC Pension Fund. This public pension caters to workers of the SABC. Those that retired by SABC, they didn't even have a pension. Someone low would see, here, but you are in the top 10 pension funds. South African municipal workers, it caters for municipal workers in municipal government and has over 52,000 people. KZN Joint Municipal Pension Fund, it serves workers of the KZN Municipal Authority. Tshwane Municipal Provident Fund, it serves individuals working for Tshwane Municipal Government, and inquiries can be made through the following. Transnet Pension Fund serves employees of Transnet Retail Pipeline with 55,000 employees. The Register of Pension Funds provides a central database for the SCA. The website allows the public to ascertain if there are unclaimed benefits due to them. Guys, this is why we need to get our RE1 and RE3 and RE5 licenses so that we can administer these pension funds. We are there. We are available to help invest. There are over 5,000 pension funds in South Africa. That includes private and occupational pension funds, which is the largest pension fund in South Africa, government employee pension funds. There's something very suspicious. It is very difficult to get the list of South African listed pension funds. Listed pension providers. So it's an Excel spreadsheet that I've downloaded. That's because I want to actually go into the amount of detail that I want to go into, because I can get when I'm done here, someone says, hey, you left this out, you left that out. Usima Fasela is currently playing in my ear. I think it's When You Come Back. Lovely, lovely, lovely song. Okay, so we've got 10x fund managers. I recommend those based on what they've got the lowest fees. Okay, let's look at Alexander Forbes. I don't think it's listed. Yeah, I'm gonna risk and share my screen. If you see something that you're not supposed to, guys. Let's see. I doubt Alexander Forbes used to be listed. I think they delisted or something like that. If you have a scholarship with them, please do contact us. Oh, it's actually listed. Hey, hey, boo. Let's see. Alexander Forbes. GPFA took a lot of space with you, né? Yeah, but that's because you were so well presented. Alexander Forbes. Let's see, what's your market cap? Oh, GPF doesn't have a market cap because it belongs to the government. It's not publicly traded. And then the major shareholders, the major shareholders of the GPF, it belongs to the South African government. So if something goes wrong, the South African government will pay. Do you think they will be capable? First of all, the GPF won't need the South African government to bail them out because they manage their money well. So 7.3 billion Alexander Forbes. So they fall in that 15% category, not the 25% category, I think, for a lot of the stuff, and 10%, 10%. They're slightly smaller. Then if we see on the fact sheet, who are their major shareholders? I had no idea that Alexander Forbes was listed. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out. So we've got Mr. Motsepe here under ARC Financial Services Investment. Then you have Mercer Africa. Mr. Motsepe owns 40.9%. Dear Lord. Mercer is 14.8%. And then GPF, Government Employee Pension Fund. That's funny. They own 6%. Okay, let's get the assets under management. At this point, my government employee pension fund can do no wrong in my eyes, guys. Now you're sharp. Annual results, operating income 3.4. Our capital position remains sound with a regulatory position. The group cover profit from operations, headline earnings, total assets. So they've got 454 billion that they're managing. It's just with them, I do know that they specialize in investments, so I'm not sure how many of that would be pensions versus just purely investments. Tesh Saldana, I think that's who is playing in my ear now. Yeah, Tesh Saldana, Jungle, shout out Bebros. He's the one that put me on to this lady. Interestingly, this song I think is a solo. She hits it on man, and man, she's brilliant. See, so yeah, these liabilities under multi-managers, that's where you'd see the pension fund liabilities. So 379 billion. I'm gonna see if the annual report describes it. As I say, Alexander Forbes, I won't be as hard on them because I know that they are just not a pure asset manager, but they're more an asset manager than the other two. And if the other two think, no, that's not the case, and guys, come and talk to me. I am here. I am here. Okay, let me go to what we do. What we do, they do retirement, standalone umbrella retirement fund administration and consulting, retirement fund actuarial consulting, beneficiary fund consulting and administration, retirement benefit counseling. Then they do healthcare, they do investments, they do individual, and they do multi-nation. Okay. Let's see if, see, at least it says these business units include retirement consulting. Marilyn Ramblin, can we have a chat, please? I'd like to know how much in pensions you're managing for how many South Africans. Lovely to see a lady who's a chairman of a board. Nope, not chairman of the board, chair of something, the chair of the company. Oh, Daniel Minele. You look very familiar. Hey, guys. Oh, Marilyn Ramplin has retired as the board chair after serving the group from 2008 to 2022, with the last 2 years as chair. Okay. But Daniel Minele, Mr. Minele, there's a Minele there by the AG that I worked with, and there are Mineles in my family. Would be interesting to know if there's any relation. Hey, Tabo Dodi, I'm sure you are on this book, man. No, you are not. It's not the first time I hear this name. Sikolo se tsene, man. Sikolo se tsene. People are educated. Bomme re filweng ka dimeng. Ms. Nosipe Molope. Guys, please reach out. Let's have a chat. These are the independent non-executives. Bob, Nigel. Guys, please reach out. Please reach out. Andile Mazwai. Let's chat, chap. Ndume Midupe. Dume, even your name sounds familiar. Orikero Mendume. Because you're almost my dad's age. So Pescal Witzaka Libito. Menosipa. Let's talk, guys. Let's talk. Let's talk. Yeah, no joy here. 454 billion. Again, that could be across investments, pensions. Do you see how partly cloud it is, guys, for your pension fund providers? Unless they come and talk and clarify, all I want to know is how many South Africans' pensions they're managing, not even just South Africans, but how many pensions they're managing, and then what's this? How much they're managing. Let's continue. So we've had Ellen Gray. Ellen Gray is not listed. Never, I don't know my listed companies, guys. Ellen Gray is the one that delisted. Ellen Gray Orbis. Yeah. Afrimed. Yeah. Pine Outbest, Anglo. Yeah. Ellen Gray not listed. We are Punyoga. But because I'm resourceful, let's see. If I say Ellen Gray, right? Pension fund. So it looks like they even specialize with pension funds. Kurayambo, kone making us meme checheri. Sambea silo. Kete pochendoke. Yay poro mabo. Yeah. I do want to like yeah. I want to see how much they are managing. Yeah, latest insights, One Health, or entering. Yeah, Bitcoin 3. Very interesting for me. Very interesting for me. They're completely private. Yeah. Is, yeah, they don't give information about how many things they're holding and what. Let's see this regulation 28 calculator. So do you see, I want you to see that, do you see how easy or how clear it is for everyone to see if the Reg 28 compliant? And then you just make sure that for pension, you're within the prescribed. Let me see how many funds there are. Okay, we count 46. Okay, but these are the ones that are collective investment schemes. Yeah, guys, it's tough to get pension fund providers. Let me say control file. Let me say pension. Ah, there we go. Retirement fund. Okay, we count 2,000 retirement funds. Okay. And these are the institutional ones. These are all the retirement funds that you can choose from. As I said, personal favorite 10x and Outvest. Right. Let me see who else might be listed. The ABI pension fund. That would be for ABI employees. I imagine AECI would be for their staff. Yeah, Alexander Forbes. Just Alexander Forbes, they're not giving me. Oh yeah, but I checked. They've got 454 billion on assets under management, but they are not saying how much of that is in is way, right? And yeah, you can see it starts being company specific. Emplets, African Rainbow Minerals. Look, if you work for a company and they've got a pension fund, then look, I've got nothing to say because at least there you can speak at your AGM, you can speak at the company, whatever. And I do urge you to please do go. And I'm gonna show you now what I'm getting at. Nah? I know I've been saying that throughout your Anchor, Anglo American, Asopel, Aveng, BMW, BP. You guys, your employers take care of you. And yeah, don't undo that. Don't undo that. Coca-Cola, Crooks Brothers. Oh, I love Crooks Brothers. Crooks Brothers, essentially, they produce, they call it, what is that word? Deciduous fruit, I think. That's fruit that when it's ripe, it falls to the ground. That was a nice word that I learned a couple of years back. I like Crooks Brothers. The share price never moves, but I liked what they do, and I liked their financials at some point. It would be interesting to have a look at them again. DHL, Demelin, Destiny Umbrella, Distal, East London Building Industry, Easy Umbrella, EHL. No, we're gonna discuss this. Fidelity, Feltex, FedEx, Fadasa, Fraza. Guys, as you can see, Hewlett Packard, you guys are well catered for. I'm counting over 2,000 pensions. Cap Industrial, KPMG, Clean Karoo, Lafarge. The music playing in my ears. Now it's Penna Boys Time Flies. Marriott Umbrella, those are the hotels, Messmart. McCain. Hey, hi McCain. The McCain Foods SA Provident Fund. Let me look that one up. McCain South Africa Pension Fund. So as you see, the Provident Fund, so you see when you change jobs, right? When you change jobs, government says that you can't, sometimes you have the option to withdraw a pension to put in a Provident Fund. The Provident Fund is then the one where government says that we'll take care of it for you. Don't be scared, guys. As I said, if it's the government employee pension fund that I'm seeing here, they are doing a phenomenal job managing your money. I wouldn't either if I was you. Let me check the McCain government employees. Alan Gray, guys. I don't know why people use you. You're not bad. I don't think you're bad. I just don't have information on which to make a decision. McCain Food South Africa Pension Fund. I'll never look at if you do report on the pension fund. As I said, one thing about me, guys, now I will read your annual report. Let's go to McCain South Africa. We can even go to McCain Worldwide, SA Food Service, SA Retail, from farm to freezer. Today, I'm not looking for a job, McCain. Today, I'm looking for your investor report. So McCain is actually McCain Brothers. Apparently all the way from Canada. Ask me how I know. Okay, I'm gonna go to corporate. Hopefully it takes me to the Canada side. Nope, it doesn't. I'm then going to Google McCain annual report. There we go. Sustainability report, so McCain.com. To 10K. I hate giving up. Yeah, I'll do this in my own time. I think for now, let me continue on the exercise. The pension fund, Messmart, Media 24, Medtronic, Mediterranean, MedPark, MedScheme, Melomed Holdings Pension Fund. My parents work at Melomed, Mercedes-Benz, Mason, Mineral Midlands, Municipal Workers Pension Fund. I am very impressed with government, guys. I don't wanna lie. The government pension fund was so straightforward. Yeah, Old Mutual, yeah, you listed. Yeah, the problem is that you don't report well. Omnia is a company I like. Shareholder in Omnia. Outvest is the second one that I recommend. So I recommend Outvest and what's the one the top 10x? But that's if you don't have any at work, wara. Otherwise, just continue the employer. Remember, Reg 27 makes it difficult for you to be in a bad pension fund because it's got very strict limits. Sanlam, suspend. Yeah, thing is, the reason why I want now look at Usasfen and Usignia, I've seen enough now, guys. Guys, if you are managing the pension fund of your company, because I've seen these are a lot of companies, Unitrans, I've worked on some calculations for them. Hit me up in the comment section. Let's talk. Let's engage on this pension fund, Shandes, and see what we can do. Now, over to why we want to have the conversation on pension funds. And if you've watched this far, I think you deserve a round of applause and you genuinely are interested in the pension fund conversation. If you are younger than whatever, 30 or so, I hope this is life changing for you. Over and above it being life changing for you, I hope you're able to assist your folks when it comes to these sort of things so that we can have a much better experience of life in South Africa, right? Veso, Vodacom, Vea, YFM. Well, even YFM has got a provident fund. McG, you guys like complain, can't never it's sharp. You know, yeah, that's a list of the pension funds or the retirement funds that I've been able to pull out. I now have this list. Ke monate, ke monate, ke monato. I've got closure, guys. I've got closure. Your companies have got pension funds. The situation is not as bad as I thought it was, even though they say only 3% of South Africans can retire comfortably. Now let's engage on this one. Old Mutual, Salmam, I'm sorry you're the guinea pigs. Alexander Forbes, you too. But yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's take the 774 billion, their Old Mutual, the 1 trillion, yeah, Sanlam, the 2.3 trillion, yeah, GPF, and then the 454 billion, yeah, Alexander Forbes. And that one really comes with a pinch of salt, right? And already you can tell that, okay, so that's what, 1, 2 trillion, 4 trillion and some change, 100 billion, 100 billion. So looking at about roughly 4.3 trillion that I've looked at in assets owned or under management, right? So that's quite big. Obviously, there's some double counting there. There's some items that are not clear, as I've indicated throughout the previous two videos. So you'll just work with me or bargain with me here for the point. So that's 300 billion, that's 4.3 trillion multiplied by 0.25. So we have about 1 trillion that can go into property or is in property at a maximum, right? The other 3.2 trillion would be in equity, right? And with these, I am saying instead of retiring with a retirement package. I think we had worked it out in the first episode to be about 4 million per person, right? So you've been contributing 2,500 Rand to your pension every month for the last 30 years, right? I'm not gonna escalate it because I don't want to end up working with numbers that are so unrealistic that they have no bearing. I want to put a proposition to us as South Africans, right? Would you rather you are retiring and getting 4.3 million to carry you for the remaining 25 years of your life, assuming you live until 90? And if I calculate 4,200,000 divide by 25 years, it's about 168,000 Rand a year. Divide by 12. Times 25 years, 4.2 million. Okay, divide by 25, 168,000. Divide by 12. That's roughly 14,000. It's okay. I don't think it shoots the lights out, but it's okay, right? So we have the situation where I said, put aside 250 Rand for your employees, black companies, please do this, right? And essentially you're giving them 2,000 Rand per month at the retirement. If you are the people that are contributing 2,500, you're roughly looking at 14,000 at the retirement that you're gonna be getting, you know. And I'm saying that that is not much. In all honesty, that is not much, right? I say during your working years, how about you approach your AGM of your pension fund, and at a bare minimum that they should invite you to, right? And you say to them that instead of giving me 4.3 million rands at retirement and expecting me to live on 14,000 rand per month, these numbers are actually scary. No wonder they say South Africans won't likely retire comfortably, less than 3%, right? Do you not think it's better your pension fund providers take your combined contribution? So in this case, 4.3 trillion between Old Mutual, Sanlam, and government employee pension fund, right? And you say to them, please build a hospital or build hospitals in our villages, because a huge percentage of South Africans, when we reach 65, we are either going back to the township or you're going back to a village. Very few South Africans are going to afford to stay Kobo Santen. Already today, it's tough. The levies are very high. The rates are very high. If you don't have anything, it becomes difficult for you to get food, right? And you say to your pension funds, instead of accumulating all of this money that you're gonna give to me and I don't know what to do with it at retirement, why don't you build hospitals? I was gonna say give out bursaries, but I would even say actually build schools, build quality schools so that our kids can be very well educated, and then either build universities and training colleges or give bursaries like crazy. Give bursaries. And I'll give you an example. A company like, let's take McCain. McCain South Africa, number of employees. South Africa. I actually do want to see how many employees they have. This is retail, this is that. Oof, guys, your reporting is so horrible, so minimalistic. Guys, do you see how difficult it is to work with some companies when government hasn't set either minimum requirements? But I don't want to blame government. You know, this is why there's these sustainable investings, global sales in thing. Okay, 22,000 employees worldwide, countries where our products are sold. I don't want to know all of that. 1 in 4 are sold by us. Okay, we're gonna ditch McCain. Let's see the next company. Let me take a listed company. Let's take the mines. Why not? Let's take the mines, right? And let's take my mine. Let's not take um, let's not take my competitors, because then people will accuse me of this and that and whatever. So we've got 84,000 employees, 84,775, right? 84,775 employees. And let's say, oh, that's worldwide. Ooh, let's find out how many of them are in South Africa. So I'm gonna pick up the integrated report. Let's see what's the workforce in South Africa. Group annual financial report. Let's find. Okay. Ooh, okay. Let's have a look. Let's say about Sibanye. That should tell us. That should tell us who's where and what. Yeah. Let's have the document about this report, our business and leadership. Okay. Yeah, today we're not looking at performance. Today we're just looking at pension funds. Sibanye is still watertight to that. Okay, adjusted EBITDA. We're gonna get the numbers. Workforce 84,000, profit of 19 billion rands. It's a lot of profit. Let's see. No, I'm very confident. The reporting in my companies, I cannot the companies out at Zealand. This was they even show us the mines that they own in South Africa, as well as the amount of assets that they are generating. I'm gonna look for the amount of employees. I expect the amount of employees. Okay, so we've got 84,000 employees worldwide. But in terms of country specific, I expect that to be under human capital and human resources. Dr. Vincent Mapaya, I knew the previous chairperson, Datesillo. Can we have a conversation, please? I'm your shareholder. Richard Menel, I've heard quite a bit about the Menel brothers. Is that you guys? If you can spare a minute, can we have a conversation? You guys, at least I know you don't hide from me. I've had the honor of meeting Neil Froman, my CEO. These are people that I know they don't hide. They don't hide. They've been there when I've needed to talk to them. I just want to see how many South African employees we have. Okay, so this is the life of mine valuation. So PGMs will go on the green metals. Okay. I think we have 30,000 employees in South Africa, if I remember correctly. Let's see what drives us, our purpose, our strategy, our material, package, shared value. It's just on dough playing in my head. That's why you hear me saying, it's fine, I'll just Google it. The thing is, today wasn't a annual report day. Today it was a pension funds day. So, oh, look at that. Africa, United. Okay, so this is production numbers. Uh, with a net cash position of 5.9 billion. We had a flood there in our US operations. That wasn't nice. But I want this example to live for you guys. I don't want a situation where we've spent this amount of time and you walk away having not had something tangible or practical, you know. Obviously, there's also a bit of me wanting to prove that my company has reported what I'm looking for. SA region, there we go. So about safety. That's relevant legislation. Looking after our employees. What's interesting for me is that after doing this, someone will say investing is risky. It's like you actually can have information. You actually can have information on your investments. There we go. SA region. So they're detailing the number. So we had 2 fatalities. And I really do wish my condolences to those families. Here in the US, there were 2 PGM fatalities. Over 99% of our employees have medical insurance, psychological well-being, operations, reduction in the number of workplaces exceeding 31 degrees, quiet strategy to reduce noise levels implemented. Guys, lower guy. Neil, how many employees are you guys? There we go. Principal medical scheme members, funding of employee health. So roughly, I would assume that this approximates the number of employees that we have. Or it even says in percentage terms, employees on medical schemes, principal members in percentage terms. So 100%, that's 100% of gold operations. And then that's 98%. Perfect. Perfect for me. So it's 35,170 plus 26,482. 61,000 employees, 652 that are in South Africa, right? I told you my company will report this. And we know that these guys are on a medical aid. In fact, just on the medical aid itself, on the medical scheme itself, let's assume each one is paying 1,000 Rand for medical aid. That's already 61 million that gets paid a month towards medical aid, right? And then we say multiply by 12, that's almost R1 billion just on medical aid, 739,824. And I'm saying, build a hospital. Build a hospital, build a Sibanye hospital, which at retirement, employees can still continue to enjoy free healthcare. That's what I'm saying. That's medical aid. Let's look at pension. Similar, if this number of, because generally people that have got a medical aid tend to also have a pension, even if it's at a bare minimum. So you essentially are in a situation where if I say times 2, you end up having 1.5 billion each year that the medical aid and pension are bringing in. And I'm saying, Sibanye, who is managing these for you? This is per year. On average, how long would you say the career of a mine worker is? Let's say 10 to 15 years, right? Let's say 10 years to be conservative. That's 15 billion rands. Less than $1 billion that employees would have spent on pension fund and medical aid. And I'm saying of that, the prescribed 25% medical aid limits that, what's this, Regulation 28 gives on property, you can literally have 3.7 billion rands worth of social, I'll call it social assets. And what are social assets? We're talking about hospitals, schools, even training colleges. For example, we can pivot medicine as far as your radiographies and that sort of thing. It doesn't need to be done at a university. That can be done in your mining communities. And as I say, I took 25%, so you still have a good 11.3 billion that is continuing to look after the employees in terms of the medical aids and what have you. It's 3 a.m. I'm almost dead. I'm saying, let us do this. And then at retirement, let the employees enjoy a good quality of life. And I'm saying that already at 14,000 Rand that you're going to get at retirement, you are not going to meet your obligations. So at least if you know that hospitalization is taken care of. With schooling, right? If you build a school, then that makes it easier for your employees' children to become doctors, engineers, and come work for the mine, but also to come and work as doctors in the hospitals that you're building. Because I know some of the challenges of why you wouldn't build a hospital. Mining is already legislatively cumbersome. So I don't think you would want to go into the hospital industry as well, which is equally cumbersome. But I'm saying that doctors in this country, accountants in this country, can't we get together and say, listen, Sibanye, register a separate company that you own 100% shares in, or that your employees, in fact, own shares in, and then those companies, the pension fund invests in them. Remember, pension funds can invest in unlisted assets, but then and those pension unlisted assets, it's what? It's property, it's equity, it's debt. The pension fund, let it build these things. Let the pension fund build these things. And you're only taking 25% of it. For Sibanya, I'm already telling you now, if each employee is contributing only 1,000 Rand to their pension, that's 15 billion rands. That's coming in at after every 10 years in the life of an employee. Sibanya luckily is 10 years old. I'd like to actually attend the AGM this year and raise these issues. To say, for me as a shareholder, first of all, I'm willing to forego my dividends for us to build this infrastructure. But I'm even showing you that without foregoing my dividends, you actually can build a hospital, build schools, capacitate them, and have employee staff there, and then more of their pension can go to, first of all, let's then assume that out of this 14,000 that each employee is going to get, since we've taken away 25% to contribute, that's 3,500 Rand to contribute to social infrastructure. I don't think an employee that was going to get 14,000 Rand can complain about getting 10,500, but they've got free healthcare, they've got educated kids. And if we work it backwards, this 10,500 times 12 times 25, the employee takes home 3.1 million instead of 4 million. And the extra million, Sibanya, for you, that's how many employees that we had. 35,170 plus 26482. That 1 million, that would have gone towards employee pensions. Okay, that's at 2.5. But you get my gist. That's 6.6 billion. 6.6 billion is all that it costs. each mine have a hospital. That's realistic. Each mine have 2 or 3 hospitals. That's very realistic. I think it's doable. And I'm saying that every company, we can have the staff have this type of conversation. Build a hospital in my village. Auditor General has got how many employees? 4,000 employees. Let's work with 3,200 employees. Contributing 1,000 to pension, that's 3.2 million a month. Times 12 months, that's 38 million in 12 months contributed to a pension. We can even times it by 2 for employer contributions. I hadn't even counted employer contributions. And we look at the demographic, okay? There's an AG in every province except Kimberley. Can we not have partnerships or a building of social infrastructure mandate to Sanlam? Because I know your pension funds are with Sanlam mainly. To say for our staff in the villages where they operate, build social infrastructure so that one day when they retire, they can retire comfortably. That's all that I'm proposing. That's where I was going this whole time with pension funds. And if you think it's not doable, look at all the areas that we live in. You know, here in Pretoria, you literally have got 4 hospitals next to each other: Medforum, Mediclinic, Netcare, and Louis Pasteur. Within literally one small radius. Then you've still got Pretoria West Hospital, you've got Calafong Hospital, you've got Eugene Marais, that's my favorite one there. You've got Life Healthcare within a radius of 20 kilometers. Within a 20-kilometer radius, you have already, I've counted 8 hospitals. You've got Steve Biko. But guys, we can't build hospitals in Limpopo. We can't build hospitals in Eastern Cape. We can't build hospitals in Mpumalanga. Today, if a granny drops dead with a heart attack in Mpumalanga, or you don't drop dead, if they get a heart attack, the nearest hospital to them that has cardiology services is Steve Biko. Yet in the population of employees in every company here in Gauteng, there are many employees from Mpumalanga, but they have to come to Steve Biko for cardiology services. I'm saying let's be more intentional with our pensions. Employees, your employer is not going to be kind to you and do these things that I'm saying. You have to you have to ask them, who is my medical aid with? Who is my pension with? And then attend the AGM of that company. And then when you get there, vote. As a member to that scheme, you have a right to vote, to say, I propose that you do this and this and this around the country. We can start with Limpopo, we can start with Northwest. And over a period of 10 years, we then have got some level of social infrastructure in our communities, in our areas. Accountants can go and work there. Doctors can go and work there. Teachers can go and work there. And that is why Ntate Gebi Mahumola said, any emerging nation to stimulate economic growth within its ranks needs to have its own banks, insurance companies, and pension funds. He named 3 types of institutions. I haven't even touched on the banks and the insurance funds, which are in the hands of its community. I call this an economic strategy for survival. That is why you have such a high concentration of hospitals in Cape Town, in Pretoria, in Joburg, because the communities there, the banks, the insurance companies are building this social infrastructure for their people, for their communities. Your village is left empty. The day you resign, the day you retire, you get given 4 million rands and goodbye. 4 million rands doesn't buy oxygen. I want to read an excerpt as I close. And this is by far, the episode that I've always wanted to record. I want to read an excerpt from my journal of why I think this way, why I write what I write. This is from my time spent in the greater Limpopo area. I first say, open the journal by saying freedom is the ability to do whatever you want under the rules. I am just advocating for freedom here. But if you want to go one higher, I say sovereignty is the ability to write your own rules. If you cannot be sovereign, then at least be free. That is my core belief. I believe in self-determination as a community. And the community starts with my nucleus family, me, my mom, my dad, my siblings, my wife, my children. That is the first community that I belong to. And then when we combine my dad's sisters, my dad's brothers, their sisters, as a clan, as the Longwe clan, that is our community. I think as a clan, we said that we want to actually do this. I'm going to show you the numbers for my clan. So the initial investment, we currently have, let's say, about 100,000 rand sitting in our bank. And let's say we're investing this for the next 30 years. And we are saying every month, we want to increase that to 2,500 a year. A year. That's about 210 rand per month, right? 208 rand. And last we counted, there were 150 Longwe members. But I think because we have seen how difficult it is for some families where we find that there are 5 family members and 1 breadwinner, that sort of a thing. I think a conservative estimate of what we are able to do, let's say out of the 150 of us, plus minus, I think 175, but it's fine. I'm going to divide that by 4 and say there's about 38. At least if 38 are consistently contributing the 208.333333 per annum, that is about 7 per month. That is about 8,000 rand per month that we're contributing as a family. And I say we take that, multiply by 12, we're bringing in 93,000 rand or 94,000 rand per year that we are bringing in. If the 38 of us all contribute, right? So I'm going to add deposit amount, I'm going to say yearly, and I say 90, the number was 93,749, 93,749. Every year, at the end of the year, we put in 93,749. after having accumulated the 208 from the 38 of us that are capable of contributing. This is just us as a family. Annual increase, none for now. Compound interval, yearly. So we start with 100,000, we say 10.255% for 30 years. And we say annually, we are contributing 2,500 amongst the 38 of us. So 150 divided by 4. In some families, out of 4 people can contribute. So I'm taking that for granted. Divide by 4 actuarial. We don't have an actuary in the family, so until we do, my calculations will have to do. Divide by 4, there's 38 of us that should be contributing. And we will then run and make decisions for the family. We'll make decisions with this money, the 38 of us, to the best interest of our family. And we do this without ceasing for the next 30 years. On average, the oldest person I know in the family, let's say, is 60. I'm talking active now. They will be 90, 30 years from now. And you know, as a family, we've had Okoko that have lived to 101. I mean, actually, Longwest daughters themselves, all 5 of them, or at least, yeah, all 5 remaining ones, one passed away pretty early. They all lived to their 90s. So when we say we want to end poverty in our lifetime, we actually can see that poverty ending in our lifetime. If you are 60 today, in the next 30 years, you'll be 90. In the next 40 years, you'll be 100. And we have seen that we live that long in the family. And I say, calculate, this is how much money we'll be able to raise or have in the next 30 years as a family. If the 38 of us pull to our strengths, 18 million. And what can we do with 18 million? Now we can start having the conversations that we were trying to have over the weekend of the wedding. Katadasi, very lovely wedding. Enjoyed ourselves. So as a family, we would have taken out 3 million, almost 3 million, 2.8 million. We would have left it to compound at 10.255%. And after 30 years, we will have 18 million. Now, this is why I say it's difficult for an accountant to be the one that leads the investment strategy. Because if it's up to me, I am saying that we do this and don't touch the money. And only after 30 years, I will be 61. Yes, I will be 61. You're giving me then a pot of money, 18 million, on which to say, we have done our part. Now, Dotan, go and invest this for us. With 18 million already, we can be a significant shareholder, as we've said before, in a spa. And a spa has got many operations. It's got farms, it's got truck drivers, it's got tellers, it's got accountants, it's got everything. And we own that grocery chain. That is my proposal. This is what a family of 150 can do with 38 active members. We can do 18 million. If all members were contributing, I just want to show 2,500 times 150 of us. That is 375,000 that we are doing yearly. 375,000 that we are doing yearly. And this is why I don't like working with a complete number, because it leaves no margin for error. Again, we do this for the next 30 years. I'm not sure how realistic that is, but we're dreaming now, right? Let us take it to the extreme. Let us dream the whole way. As a family, doing that per year, 30 years from now, when you are 90, in your lifetime, we've got 66 million, 66.6 million to feed ourselves as a family. I say 66,618,271.24 divide by 150. That is each of us getting 444,000. And I like to say divide by 25. That's roughly 17,000 Rand a year. Divide by 12. It's an extra 1.5 a month that is coming in. But the beautiful thing is that we won't be giving out cash. This will be the value of our assets. We can own part ownership, a significant stake. 66 million is a lot of money. We own a significant stake in a hospital, a significant stake in a grocer like Spa. Then we know that we can employ our kids in either a hospital or in a spa. We can add Curo. We can own 20 million rands worth of Curo. Then we know we own a school, a hospital, and a grocery chain. Our farms feed that grocery chain. Our kids that go to school become doctors and nurses in our hospitals. Our kids that go to school become teachers in those schools. Our kids go to school for free. We're a 20 million rand donor in a school. That's what I'm saying I think we can do. I'm going to end it here. As I said, sovereignty and freedom. And I've been ending, but I'm going to read to you something about what it means to be a man in my definition. The definition of a man is a man is someone that has the ability to draw a circle, a triangle, a rectangle, or whatever shape he chooses on the ground and call that his kingdom, call it his home. The concept of land ownership. If you want to call yourself a man, have a piece of home that you say, this is mine. And this is what you do once you own a piece of land. Right? When a man declares his kingdom, he asserts that. So by the time you decide to buy land or a house, you are then asserting that whoever is in this kingdom is an invited guest and has the right to be there. Whoever is there uninvited shall be treated as a threat and an intruder and shall be swiftly dealt with. There's no reason to be apologetic about a trespasser in your house. But if we're saying government is not protecting our kids, government is not whatever, at least in your house, say if somebody breaks in, I know how to fight and defend my family, if you want to call yourself a man. We then continue and we say, whoever is within the border of that kingdom shall be protected. That's what I've just spoken about. Whoever is within the borders of that kingdom shall be provided for. Have a small patch in your piece of land, your circle, your rectangle, your triangle, whatever shape you chose to draw. And on that piece of patch, plant food for your family, spinach, cabbage, pumpkin. Pumpkins have got seeds. Seeds have got value. I mean, they've got nutrition. That's what's nice about pumpkin. You can eat the leaves. They grow, they multiply. With those 3 or 4 crops, you've covered quite an extensive amount of your nutritional value. Have some chickens, umleqwa, that roam around in the yard. Have a chicken pen, chicken hen. 5 to 10 chickens. That's barely 2,000 rands that you've spent on 5 to 10 chickens. a very expensive chicken. 200 rand a chicken. Mix between egg layers and chick layers. And then your family has got meat. Every year, resolve to buy yourself one cow. After 5 years, you've got 5 cows. And if you're buying female cows, after 5 years, they've made kids. And that's just your small kingdom. That's you saying that everybody that is going to live in this kingdom of mine shall be provided for. If you are buying a cow a year, that is about 750 rand that you're putting aside to buy an 8,000 rand cow at the end of the year. Right? And I say this includes not only humans, but the birds and the insects too, for this is your kingdom. Plant trees, plant flowers, let bees come into your yard. Have that feeling, that ability to sit in your yard on a camp chair and watch a bee be sustained by the fact that you had a vision to have your own little kingdom as a man. And then I say the main guide is your ancestral lineage, the man in you through the ages. Ulongwe himself had well over 300 cattle. Ugogo now, Goktogo Yashu. Ulongwe had well over 300 cattle. So your ancestral lineage is already letting you know that as a man, that is your guide as to what we are supposed to do. And when I say men, I use it interchangeably because out of the 38 of us today, some will be women. But if we married, I would like that in the family we don't celebrate brokenness in the family. So I think it is still correct to address the men. The guide is our ancestral lineage, as well as Marcus Aurelius. He was a Stoic. He was an emperor and a leader of men. He guides this philosophy of mine. And I say this is a contrast to Seneca, who guided the individual. So Marcus Aurelius guided leaders, guided men. Seneca guided himself. And he said, you as an individual must be willing to suffer. Don't hold on to anything permanently. And that speaks to the spirit of not giving up for you, for yourself as an individual. So we are guided as a unit by Ulongwe and the teachings of Marcus Aurelius. But you as an individual, be willing to suffer to see your goals come through. And I say this will help you be a fair ruler of your kingdom. Be fair. Let birds come and chirp in your yard. Let kids play in your yard. That is a sign of a kingdom that is well run. And then I say a strong man makes his kingdom stronger and stronger. So you keep on you keep on growing the amount of cattle that you have, the amount of chickens that you have, the amount of horticulture that you're growing. Nobody can stop you. You don't have to limit yourself. You know, when you reach the limits of your land, your small nyana space, your kingdom, this is where the next part becomes important. And I say through that, he earns the right to meet with other kings and discuss matters of mutual concern and leverage. Sia, if you've got your kingdom, I've got my kingdom, Kehla, you've got your kingdom, Jabulo, you've got your kingdom. We have earned the right to sit at a table together and see where can we help one another, what can we leverage, what matters of mutual concern can we discuss. And I say your kingdom is what gives you a voice in the marketplace. Without a kingdom, a man weakens his position and as a result becomes irrelevant. When we plan, we will plan without you. So I'm saying that let's put aside this money as a family and forget about it. And then on the other side, let's endeavor to own land. The land, it's easier said than done. I don't know how we'll move there. Some of us, suge like Goli, if we can't afford to buy land where we are, then that mutual concern and leverage, we agree, let's divide and each one be able to be allocated their piece of land. Some of us are entrepreneurs, so we can look for jobs and things to do. If we are not establishing kingdoms here in Gauteng, then I don't think there's a shame in going home. And then we do that there. And then we start chickens, pumpkins, spinach, cabbage, one cow a year. And then you keep growing that, keep growing that, keep growing that. After 10 years, where are we as a family? Imagine if each man in the family has got 10 cows, more than 20 chickens, spinach and pumpkin fields. In 10 years, poverty in the family gone. And we've got a sovereign fund that is busy growing in the background. And this can be used now, as I say, to take key stakes in schools and universities and hospitals and say our kids go there for free. Instead of taking dividends, reinvest the dividends, and that's the school fees. That's the medical fees for our family. So with our kingdoms, we can meet at the marketplace and have a voice. And we can be sovereign. We can have the right to determine our future, to determine the rules that we want to play by, or to play by the rules that are set for us in South Africa. That is my journal. That is what I've learned from my wanderings when I was there in the greater north in Limpopo. That is what I have to say about pensions and pension funds and how you can help them build your society. Chairman Mo, I'm out. As I said, I'll end the recording. Then I'll end the recording after. Yeah, but I'm exhausted. What's the time? It's half 3. It's time to sleep.